Hey guys, and welcome back to another Overwatch video. In this one, we're going to be discussing quite the big update. So, a huge patch dropped, lot to discuss, so let's get straight into it, starting with this feature called While You Wait, which will allow you to play various game modes while you're in queue for competitive or quick play. So if I'm waiting 30 minutes to get my Genji DPS role, I can now play deathmatch, skirmish, or even get into a training lobby with friends in order to have fun. Great addition and should make things a little bit more entertaining. But a lot of heroes were changed, so I want to get on with that first. So starting us off, we have Orisa changes. As you can see, base armor increased from 200 to 250, fusion driver movement speed penalty reduced from 30% to 20%, health reduced from 900 to 600 on her protective barrier, as well as fortifies cooldown reduced from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. So basically, they nerfed the total health pool of her barrier. As you can see, it is now 600, not 900, but they buffed everything else, allowing her to be a little bit more allows her to move a little easier, a little more mobile, as well as able to put on the extra armor more consistently. So this is to kill the shield meta, but without destroying Orisa. So I think the changes here are quite interesting and overall a very healthy change. From there we have some Sigma changes. Experimental barrier health reduced from 1500 to 900, as barrier health regeneration was reduced from 150 to 120 per second, as well as kinetic grasps cooldown reduced from 13 to 10, and it allow him to output more damage after absorbing damage. So they kind of changed Sigma into more of a brawler because, again, they want to kill the double shield, which is why they nerfed the total health pool. Honestly, I can't even believe it used to be 1500. 1500 is insane. I don't know how we all survived with it. This is why I used to hate Sigma. But the reduction in the total health on the shield is huge. The buffs are, again, to make him a little more of a brawler. Overall, some healthy changes. From there we have Reinhardt. Now this is some changes I love. So his shield was reduced from 2000 to 1600, again trying to kill off shields, but you can see it right there. His movement speed penalty was reduced from 50% to 25%, as well as steadfast, which is his knockback resistance, increased from 30 to 50%. So as you can see by the footage, you're going to have to play it to really feel it more than visually see it, but he moves way faster while his shield is up, allowing him to maneuver, become more mobile, as well as be knocked back way less. So let's say Doomfist punches me, I'm going to be knocked back like barely any distance compared to before. This is great. All of these tank changes are all part of the same thing. Nerf the shields, up the mobility. Tanks are more of like kind of brawlers now, not just bunker meta. Amazing changes overall. From there we have Moira, a nerf. So her healing was reduced from 4 to 3.25, meaning she will gain less health per second. I mean, honestly, I'm super happy about this. They keep nerfing Moira over and over, and I will not be upset until she's basically deleted from the game. But before you give me a dislike, I know there are a lot of you Moira mains out there who enjoy Moira for her DPS and healing. She does have that unique mix, but this is still a step in the right direction. And keep in mind, you will not be just throwing your life-sucking ability at shields now. Reduce shields makes sense, right? You don't want her to be healing this much while the shields are getting kind of kicked out of the game. So again, I actually say it's a very healthy change. D.Va had a small change. Her cooldown was from 2 seconds to 1.5 on her defense matrix. I don't know how much this is really going to do. I don't think it does anything. It's just 0.5 seconds. But spammable abilities aren't fun. I think D.Va needs more changes and different changes. Widowmaker, her cooldown was increased from 10 seconds to 12 seconds on her grapple. This is because there will be less shield, so they want to nerf her mobility. I guess it makes sense. I don't know how much it's really going to alter Widow, but I definitely do think Widowmaker is much stronger now and definitely back in the meta, which is fun. I love Widowmaker, so I'm not disappointed. From here we have a buff to Torbjorn's Overload ability, in which the cooldown was decreased from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. I mean, I think they're just trying to kick Torbjorn back into the meta, as the last patch saw his ultimate buffed, so I think it's fine. Genji's Shuriken ammo was increased from 24 to 30. I was hoping to see more significant Genji changes because of a later buff that we'll talk about, but I don't think he's in that great of a state. He hasn't been for 6 months. I don't think a little bit more ammo is going to do him much, but oh well. From there, we have the particle cannon, secondary fire of Zarya buffed, the explosion radius increased from 2 to 2.5 meters, and the ammo cost reduced from 25 to 20, so she can shoot a little longer before reloading, which is great. Zarya buffs are always welcome. From there, we have armor changes, this is what I wanted to talk about. Armor damage reduction increased from 3 to 5, which basically means they just reverted the armor changes that they made quite some time ago. Now, at first glance, this might be scary since they actually made this change originally to kind of kill off the GOATS meta, and reverting it might feel a little bit weird, but I think it's actually one of the healthiest changes that they're making this patch. I think this single this single change alone will bring Overwatch back to how we enjoyed it and kind of ground the game altogether. Keep in mind, a lot of characters were originally built from the ground up with the old armor system in mind. This is what allowed Reaper to do tons of damage to, let's say, tanks, but not feel like the tanks meant nothing at the same time. Like right now, Reaper is way too strong because he melts through tanks like they're absolutely nothing due to the current armor system. So by changing this, tanks should feel a little bit more tankier, again without having to hide behind shields, which is what caused the shield meta, or one of the reasons that caused the shield meta in the first place, which, I don't know, all in all, I think it'll be way healthier, right? You can play tank, do damage, move around, not have to hide in a corner while still feeling tanky, but us DPS players don't just have to shoot at a shield the whole time, which is what made Overwatch start feeling a little bit too stale. Overall, I think this patch is really, really great, and I think the armor change is one of the best things they did. It should also put Brigitte back in an okay spot. I don't think she's going to be strong by any means, but since she has and gives armor, the armor buff does help her out. So those are all the changes for you guys. You stayed and listened, thank you. From here till the end of the video, now I'm going to be talking about the overall state of Overwatch after this update, and what I think they need to change next, or even if they do need to change anything next. Stick around if you want to just hear my opinion and make conversation in the comments down below. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so the overall state of Overwatch just got way better. There's definitely no denying that. I mean, the quality of life changes starting from the start, allowing us to just enjoy the game while we're waiting in queue, since role queue was quite detrimental to to wait times, is really great, all the way down to every single hero change. The double shield meta was boring, most of us can agree to that. However, there are a lot of other concerns players have that I'm going to try to maybe address or just spark conversation about. Doomfist, Reaper, and Mei are 3 DPS a lot of people are disliking from low ranks up till high ranks, less complaining in the high ranks now, but a lot of people were complaining about those heroes. But there's a lot of little changes that happened, right? Now Reinhardt counters Doomfist way harder thanks to the ability to have 50% reduction on knockback, meaning Doomfist is going to have a lot of trouble getting rid of Reinhardt, and if he approaches Reinhardt, he's going to get smacked with a hammer. Things like that, small changes, make chain reactions in ways that sometimes we don't always think. That is one example. Reaper will be a little bit weaker now thanks to the armor reversion, or I guess the armor change, which should put the tanks, making them feel more tankier and should be able to actually approach Reaper. Will he be weak? Not even close. Reaper, I think, is still going to be a top pick, but still overall a lot better. Another thing to mention is Moira being nerfed on top of the shield meta hopefully being completely dead by now. I'm almost certain it's going to be dead after this hits the live servers, means there will be more room for other supports to be comfortably picked. Right now Moira was so prominent thanks to her balls having to be used to get damage through the shields, as well as her mobility to get behind the shields, away from the shields, and her damage and sustainability. So everything being kind of lowered alongside shields, I'm not sure, but I'm hoping will mean more variety when it comes to the support categories. I mean, fingers crossed. We'll have to wait and see what these changes mean to Overwatch, but I just hope that Blizzard keeps a close eye and is not scared to make more huge changes like this, and we're going to be in for a golden era of the game. But regardless, thank you so much for watching. Cue the music, enjoy your day, hit that like button, and I'll catch you guys next time.